wake-up call really paid off. We are in Garmisch-Partenkirchen. I think that's how to say it. That's pronouncednames.com. I'm just going to be calling it Garmisch P the whole day because I'm not dealing with this. So excited. I mean, look at this. Like, you know, we go to school in Colorado, but this is on a different level. Or maybe it's not. Similar. Follow this channel for long enough, we will get to this point one day. Probably having one of the Mercedes vans, but this guy did not get so lucky. Got the boot. Sorry, man. That is the dream, though. Having the really nice new age camper. Here's your official greeting. Welcome to Garmisch-Partenkirchen, a town that feels like a time capsule of Alpine life. Even though it's one of Germany's most famous ski destinations, it has not lost its old world charm. Just look at these scattered wooden cottages. A lot of them aren't even homes at all. They're just traditional hay barns and storage huts, still used today by locals for firewood, equipment, and even livestock shelter in the winter. Some of this land has been protected for centuries, which is why the landscape has not been overrun with modern development. We see more of the hotels past that, but it's so cool that, you know, it is protected. And not the best view behind me, but if you come over here, and if you can even see behind me, but yeah, all these like wooden cottages just scattered along. Like there's so much untouched land here, and it's just great that it's not overrun by huge hotels. There is no one here, and there's a huge appeal to come. As you can see right here, that is the close-up of all of those beautiful cottages right behind me. And these farmers aren't actually farming in the traditional sense. The land here is so valuable that if it weren't strictly protected, developers would have turned this into resorts and luxury homes long ago. Instead, a lot of these farmers inherit their land through generations, and many rely on government subsidies and strict zoning laws that prevent them from even selling it if they wanted to those commercial developers.
Of course, the real highlight here is the Zugspitze, Germany's highest mountain at 9,718 feet. What's wild is that you can ski here all year round thanks to its permanent glacier, one of the last remaining in Germany. And Garmisch isn't just about winter sports. Locals ski in the morning and mountain bike in the afternoon, which is why you'll see so many people casually riding around with their gear. The laid-back atmosphere isn't new. This place has always been a retreat, even for the Nazis, who built the Olympic ski stadium for the 1936 Winter Olympics, Germany's first. Today, Garmisch feels like the perfect place to live at. It's quiet, peaceful, there's tons of activities to do here, and of course, the mountains behind me are something that would keep me coming back. Welcome to Pfarrkirche Saint Martin, the spiritual heart of Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Constructed between 1730 and 1734 under the guidance of master builder Joseph Schmuller, this church is a quintessential example of South German Baroque architecture. Its interior is adorned with intricate ceiling paintings by Mathis Gunther and frescoes by Franz Seraph Vink, both of which have been meticulously preserved. We thought this large pole behind me was actually a Christmas tree that was just stripped because of the Christmas season, and there's also a green tinsel near the top, but it's actually a maypole, not a Christmas tree. The rooster on the very top symbolizes vigilance and protection, sometimes tying back to St. Peter in Christmas tradition. The figures and symbols represent the local trades and guilds. The men and women at the bottom stand for the Bavarian culture, while the hammers, chimneys, bells, and other symbols represent different professions like blacksmiths, brewers, and carpenters. Each village has its own design, and in some towns even steel rival maypoles in playful competitions. When they raise the maypole on May 1st, they're actually lifting it into place from the ground using only wooden poles and manpower. No cranes or machines. The whole process is a massive event done entirely by hand in terms of locals pushing it inch by inch while a crowd watches, drink beer, and celebrate.
Who even needs the Roman Colosseum when you have this? Basically the same thing with the beautiful mountains over there. But you can't see because there's trees. Let's go up the gondola. In Colorado, and I guess probably in Switzerland too, and just all mountain towns in general, it's a very common trend for all of the locals to get kicked out. There's only, I think, maybe one or two, or maybe there's even none in Colorado as an original ski town that, you know, there aren't Vail Resorts. I mean, this could go down a rabbit hole, but basically like Vail Resorts isn't just Vail, Colorado. It basically owns like almost all the skiing resorts, even across Europe too. They own a huge percentage of just the skiing world in general. And they have basically, and probably other companies as well, but they've basically kicked out almost every, you know, local who like grew up in these like original ski towns. So it obviously really sucks to be a local in one of these places, and maybe you grew up here your whole life and then you can't afford it and you're forced to leave. But here, you know, literally just like wooden cottages that I'm surprised they haven't been like destroyed due to like storms. I mean, they probably get a ton of snow here, but it's so cool that, you know, they stepped in and they're like, okay, we're gonna subsidize your work. We're gonna help you out. You will be able to live here and your land is protected. Where in most places, I just don't feel like that is the same trend at all. And if you did have a house, for instance, you would almost be like forced to give it up. Especially if you can't afford the area and you're presented with like a large sum amount of money, you kind of just have to take that deal and move away. But it's so cool what's going on here. Goodbye, Garmisch-Partenkirchen. We are going to give you a solid 9.3. And you can see the huts. We did visit the huts for a while this morning. Not the huts, like, storage shack, village, because obviously no one actually lives in there, but beautiful, beautiful land. That's kind of what we were thinking we would see in Gosau, Austria, but there is the section that you can see of that, and then there's completely a new town. They have all the coffee shops, they have all the restaurants and beer, whatever you want. I was under the impression for a second that the town would kind of be all of these like shacks everywhere. That's why I was trying to dive into the economy and how everyone even affords to live here. Are there even any jobs? But no, there's a bunch of hotels and regular town things. But it's so unique looking at these right in front of the mountain, taking up so much space. It's so cool that these are still here. Garmisch, solid 9.3. Let's hand it to Sophia.
Catch us in our next video for Menwald.